Shalom, welcome to another video. And before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. And next, double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right. So this is going to be a quick news and prophecy. All right. Just pretty much further information on President Donald Trump's election and presidential campaign that's coming up. All right. He just asked Mike Waltz, which is a congressman out of Florida, to be his national security advisor. All right. So I was doing some reading on this guy. Okay. And pretty much he's a war veteran. We're going to do a little bit of history on his background. All right, but the reason why I wanted to go into this is because pretty much it shows that Trump and this current presidential administration know that we are pretty much in war with China and Russia already. We're in a Cold War, all right? And actually he quoted that, okay, in one of his I guess addressings, all right, whatever you want to call it, all right. He said that. He said we're in a Cold War with China, and one of his main duties is to make sure that China doesn't take too much control within the United States. So we're going to go into that, all right, lightly. Okay, once again, just a quick news and prophecy update. Okay, President Donald Trump asked Mike Waltz to serve as his national security advisor. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, all right, we're going to go here. All right, and we'll get the definition. What does a national security advisor do? Okay, national security advisor job duties. The national security advisor participates in the meetings of a national security council and usually chairs meetings of the Principals Committee of the NSC with the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. Those meetings not attended by the President. Let's see. National Security Advisor is a staff position in the executive office of the President and does not have line or budget authority over either the Department of State or the Department of Defense, unlike the Secretary of State. Okay, etc., etc. All right. So pretty much essentially, all right, here's probably the best one. Okay, it says the United States National Security Advisor, federal government official who advises the President on matters pertaining to national security policy. Okay, that's the best definition that I found. So I got a quick biography of this guy. Okay, and let's see how do I close this out. Oh, come on, Salakia, bear with me. There we go. Okay, so this is his quick biography. All right, it says meet Mike, the first Green Beret to serve in Congress. Mike Waltz is a Florida native, a combat decorated veteran, former White House and Pentagon advisor, small business owner, and proud father. Okay, we're going to read his biography. Not the whole thing, just different pieces of it. Congressman Mike Waltz is a colonel, okay, in the National Guard, a combat decorated Green Beret, former White House Pentagon policy advisor, a small business owner, an author, and a proud father. He is the first Green Beret to be elected to Congress. Okay, so this guy, you know, he'd be the cream of the crop, I guess, so to speak, okay, in Esau's military, Esau's arsenal. Green Beret, it says Mike was born in Boynton Beach, Florida, and grew up in Jacksonville. He was raised by a hardworking single mother and is the son and grandson of Navy chiefs. Mike has served his country his entire life. He graduated from the Virginia Military Institute with honors and served 27 years in the U.S. Army and National Guard, retiring during his second term in Congress. After being commissioned as an Army lieutenant, Mike graduated Ranger School and was selected for the elite Green Berets, serving worldwide as a Special Forces officer with multiple combat tours in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Africa. For his actions in combat, Mike was awarded for 4 Bronze Stars, including 2 for valor. All right, so he is he's a soldier, he's a warrior. Okay, I read through it yesterday. He's written books, small business owner. Okay, so like I said, you know, this guy would be what you would think of as like the perfect candidate, you know, to be with the president, working with the president. All right. Now let's go. Let's see. I don't know why it's trying to. There we go. Okay. So I also went to his Wikipedia page, and this is the part that caught my eye. Okay. So pretty much tells you the same things. All right. You know where he's a representative at and all this kind of stuff. Okay. The wars that he fought in. All right. Now I'm gonna go down to. I was trying to find out his political policies because when I was reading about him, I was thinking to myself, you know, we know that Trump is talking about, bringing back, guillotines, corporal punishment, and all these different things. So with this guy being the national security advisor, depending on what his political career looked like, all right, it would give us insight into what kind of policies we could expect to see when it comes time for persecution of the elect. Okay, so that's the reason why I did my research on this guy, and I saw something when I was doing my research that sparked my interest. So, okay, it goes into, it says political positions, war in Afghanistan, and down here it says China. All right, it says Waltz is considered one of Congress's most hawkish members with regard to China. All right, saying we are in a cold war with the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, that's what he said. These are his words. All right, let's go to the definition. Let's get the definition for the word hawkish. Okay, so that word hawkish, it says in politics, okay, which he is a part, pretty much going to be part of the president's cabin. So he's a politician, he's a congressman in Florida. In politics, the terms war hawk and hawk are used to describe as a person who favors starting armed conflicts or escalating ongoing ones instead of attempting to solve problems through dialogue or other non-violent methods. Okay, so this dude is a straight warrior. All right, and one of his nicknames is the China Hawk. Okay, and we know what that means now. Okay, it means someone who is pretty much apt to go to war, apt to go to battle. All right, now we're gonna read some of the things that he does to combat the Cold War, so to speak, with the Chinese Communist Party. It says in 2021 he was the first member of Congress to call for a full U.S. boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing over what he described as the CCP's, the Chinese Communist Party genocide and internment of Chinese Uyghur populations and the enslavement, forced labor, and internment camps of ethnic minorities in China. Okay, so I guess, trying to spread some democracy. All right. It says Waltz serves as the House China Task Force. Waltz serves on the House China Task Force with 15 Republican lawmakers representing 14 committees of jurisdiction to coordinate policy on China. The task force collaborated and released the China Task Force report. The CTF issued a final report that includes 82 key findings and more than 400 forward-leaning recommendations for addressing the China threat. Okay, so what this is indicative of, the fact that Babylon the Great America, recognizes that we are already in a conflict with China. It just has not became physical yet. All right, and we know that according to biblical prophecy, that a company of nations, starting off with Gog and Magog. All right, Gog means the Russians, and Magog is the land of the Russians. All right, starting off with Gog and Magog. Okay, we know that a company of nations are going to be joined unto them to go to war up against the United States, and we know that according to biblical prophecy, that the United States will be nuked, by Russia, China, and a company of many nations. According to Jeremiah the 50th chapter. So this is indicative of the prophecies coming to pass, all right? Because once again, we know how the world is going to end, how this kingdom, this rulership, this society will end according to the Bible, all right? And even though the politicians are not openly saying that we are in a war with China, all right, it's very apparent to those who are keeping their spiritual eye open that these things are coming down the pipeline, and they're pretty much trying to push it under the rug. All right, but it is coming nevertheless. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go into the scriptures. All right, let's go to the book of Obadiah. There's only one chapter, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and I'm going to read down to 7. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Okay, so Esau has lost his influence, he's losing his power. All right, the nations are rising up against Esau. Okay, and guys like Tim Waltz, okay, which most likely I assume he's an Edomite, but he recognizes the threat coming from Russia, China, North Korea, the different nations, and another sign of them rising up against the Western powers is the BRICS nations. Okay, they just had the BRICS summit just a few weeks back. Okay, it says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock." Okay, because if a lot of times people talk about that word Caucasian. Okay, literally means cave dweller. And then even the original land of the Edomites, okay, Basra and Petra. All right, Petra specifically is what I'm speaking of. Okay, if you look at pictures of it, the architecture of Petra. As a matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and do that right quick. Okay, the architecture of Petra is it looks very similar to how they model the White House and different government buildings, courthouses. Okay, the ancient Greek, ancient Roman Empire. Okay, why? Because it's all the same people. This is Petra, which was an old, I guess you could say, a dwelling place, a domicile of Esau. All right. Okay, and as you can see, right, it looks just like what you would see going to Washington D.C. Or any government or county building within the United States. You'll see, the white columns, etc., etc., and it's carved into a mountain. That's why they're called cave dwellers. Okay. So let's go back to the book of Obadiah. All right, the Lord, he left clues so that we know who's who. Okay, Obadiah 1 and verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, so very prideful. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, all right. Okay, that's the national bird for America, Babylon the Great, and Roman Empire. A lot of different European countries use the eagle as their symbol. Okay, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down. Okay, trying to go up into space. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Okay, why? Because what's one of the titles of Esau is a thief. The thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right. So he's saying, a regular thief would just take what he needs, but Esau is going to take everything. Okay, it tells you that in Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. Okay, his greed cannot be satiated. All right. Continuing on, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And here's the point in 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. Okay, so what confederacy is it talking about? All right, and just remember that word. The men of the confederacy that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, meaning what? Okay, we're going to go to Psalms 83rd chapter, and it tells us that all the nations rose up together against the children of Israel, okay, at the leadership of Esau, Edom. Okay, so all those men that he's confederate with are now turning against him. Russia, okay, Gog and Magog, okay, which they're also Edomites, but, and also, somebody's going to say, well, they go back to Japheth, but the original people that are there are not the same people that are there today. Okay, so I just had to clarify that. But anyways, okay, Gog and Magog, today, modern day Russians. All right, and then you have Moab, the so-called Chinese. Okay, they're band together against the West, against the beast system. Okay, North Korea. All right, and a whole host of other nations. Okay, Kush. Okay, the so-called Ethiopian Somalians. All right, they're joined into the BRICS. All right, so that confederacy is turning against him and has laid a wound under him. Okay, let's go to Psalms 83rd chapter just so you know of that confederacy, exactly who it's referring to. Okay, Psalms 83 and verse 1, it says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Okay, that's the reason why the Israelites didn't know who we were. It's all part of the programming. Okay, it's all part of the prophecies. But the beast system, it tells you that the fourth beast overcame the saints and stamped the residue. Okay, and part of that was beating our heritage out of us. Okay, Jeremiah 17:4 talks about that. It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee." This is the same confederacy that we read about in Obadiah. And now it's going to list off who it is. Okay, you got first and foremost the tabernacles of Edom. Okay, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs of Moab. All right, so-called Chinese, the Hagarenes. I believe those are actually Africans. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Okay, Gabal and Ammon, so-called Japanese, and Amalek. Okay, the 1948ers. Okay, those that are calling themselves the JOOs, but they're not. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Okay, so we go back to that Obadiah. Gives us some context on it. Obadiah 1:7. All right, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. So all the heathen nations that were once confederate with Esau and his beast system, all right, okay, they're now preparing to rise up against him. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. Okay, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. What is that speaking of? Okay, they sit at the table with Esau. They're all in cahoots. Okay, we sit at the table of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but the rest of the world sits at the table with the beast system. Okay, but they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. Okay, so when the time comes, okay, it's going to catch him off guard. All right, from a carnal perspective, this guy, okay, Tim Waltz, extremely intelligent. All right, pretty much a super soldier. All right, but the end result is still going to be the same for Babylon the Great because it's according to prophecy, and that's exactly how the Lord wants it. Okay, just like ancient Egypt, he raised up ancient Egypt just to destroy it so that he could show his power and his mercy unto his elect. Okay, which at that time it was the whole nation of the children of Israel, but in today's time it's only going to be a small remnant. Okay, but let's get a little bit more precepts, get ready to close out. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. So everybody come and listen. Okay, just like it started off with the same way in Obadiah. It says, for the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Okay, so no, there's not going to be any winners of World War III. See, Russia, China, okay, North Korea, all right, the Ishmaelite nations, they believe if they band together, they can take down the beasts, okay, which Russia has given them that courage because now they have nuclear capabilities just like Babylon the Great does. Okay, back in the time when America dropped a fat boy, little boy on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the nation stood in fear because, okay, they didn't have that same capability, but now because of Russia, all of these small nations have nuclear capabilities, right? So that's a war that no one is gonna come out of alive except for the elect, okay, and the few elites that the Lord allows to survive, so that they can be the first fruits of captivity to rebuild the kingdom to rebuild the kingdom of heaven on earth, okay. But all their armies are going to be destroyed, deliver them to the slaughter, as it says here in verse 2. It says, their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Okay, why melted? Because this is going to be a nuclear war. Okay, this is not like a regular war with horses and bow and arrows, swords and shields. All right, no, this is going to be a war of nuclear fire. Okay, intercontinental ballistic missiles. It says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Okay, he's describing the same thing John the Revelator saw. Okay, the nuclear mushroom cloud. And all the hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, so this is who the judgment is coming for. All right, Idumea, okay, let's click on it. Because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to read everything for yourself. Okay, Idumea, it says it's Edom. Edom was an ancient kingdom that stretched across in the south of present-day Jordan and Israel, right? Okay, and Edom is where, Jordan is where that city Petra is. Okay, that I brought up pictures of earlier. Okay, so it said, my sword shall be bathed in heaven. It shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, and that sword is the nuclear fire. Okay, those are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. All right, flying swords. Let's get this. Okay, this is the reason why right here at the end of the day. And this is what they're afraid of. This is the reason why they fight tooth and nail to tell us that we're not the Israelites. But prophecy is going to be fulfilled regardless. This is Isaiah 34:8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Okay, that's what it's all about. It's because of the controversy of Zion. All right, let's go here. Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Okay, and that destruction, all right, is simultaneous with the deliverance of the elect. Okay, when the nukes start getting shot off from the ends of the earth, okay, that's when the elect is going to get beamed up into the chariots in a miraculous deliverance. Okay, that is beyond all that they could hope for or wish. Okay, stranger than what you could even believe. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 43. Okay, actually, I'm gonna start at verse 40. It says, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and how did he do that? With fire and brimstone, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. It tells you that in Isaiah 13 as well. Behold, a people shall come forth from the north, and a great nation and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. All right, if I'm not mistaken, this is going into Joel the 2nd chapter. Okay, it describes an army. It says, before them as is the Garden of Eden, and after them is complete desolation. Okay, the fire is going to look like rows of men on fire, or like, I guess you could say, like rows of fire just pushing down the line, and everything in front is green and plush, and everything behind is just straight desolate, completely destroyed. Okay, verse 43, it says, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble. Okay, the king of Babylon, Esau, has heard the report of who? Okay, of the prophets. Okay, we prophesy of, okay, what's getting ready to happen. Okay, which is going to be World War III. And like I said, from a carnal perspective, this guy, seems to be extremely intelligent. Okay, he's like a war machine. Okay, this is if from a carnal perspective, I couldn't imagine probably anybody that would be better for the job. Okay, a guy who's actually seen combat, who's actually seen war. Okay, and knows about other cultures and possible enemies that Babylon the Great could be coming up against. But at the end of the day, okay, this is the Lord's will. This is his doing. Okay, so it says, the king of Babylon had heard the report of them, the prophets, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. Okay, so the elites, they're scared. Okay, they're afraid of what is coming down the pipeline, because they know that this is it. Okay, this is the end of their kingdom. That's the reason why they're going to come down having great wrath. As it says in Revelation 12:12, the devil shall come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, they hear these videos, they know that the things we're saying are true according to prophecy. All right, we'll close out with this. But once again, at the end of the day, it's the will of Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Okay, Esau has had his run, he's had his fun, and that time is coming to an end. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, and make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, and pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. Okay, why? Because the Israelites are exposing who the wicked is. Okay, exposing everything that's going on behind the scenes through prophecy. Okay, it says, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Excuse me, I read that part already. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Because this time he's coming back as a conquering angelic force. That's why the United States military just created a sixth branch, the United States Space Force. Okay, which I believe is a branch off from the Air Force. Just how the same way the Marines is kind of like a branch off of the Navy. Okay, but the Lord said, I will not meet thee as a man. He's coming back as a conquering angelic force. As for a Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. And that's what this is all about. Okay, even though all the nations are going to catch part of that destruction, okay, the main portion of it is going to Esau. All right, because of his oppression towards the righteous. Let me go ahead and get a precept. In fact, let's get a few. All right, just quick rapid fire. Psalms 20, I believe it's Psalms 20 and let me see. Oh, you know what? Next chapter, Shalakia. Okay, Psalms 21. Boom. Psalm 21 and verse 8. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies, thy right hand shall find out all those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Okay, I'm trying to memorize where those verses are, so I'm going to keep bringing them out. But, okay, the Lord is going to make them as a fiery oven, as it says. Let's get the next one, Psalms 11 and 6. It says, upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Okay. So he's going to lay down fire and brimstone like we read. Okay. Babylon shall be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and the elites, they hear. Okay. They hear our report. Okay. And they're trembling, man. That's why they're hiring people like No Class Malone to come up against the truth. Okay. To try to discredit us as if it's going to make a difference. All right. You know, of what the destiny of Esau is going to be. It says, Job 27 and 13, this is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. So there's no escaping it. Okay, this is what the Heavenly Father is getting ready to do. Okay, and bringing down wrath on the bride is only going to cause you more distress, but we know that that's a part of the movie. Isaiah 47 and verse 3, I'm going to read it again. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh, power of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. See that? I was wroth with my people, I polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. When they were pillaging and raping, robbing, stealing, okay, enslaving, they weren't thinking about possible consequences. But according to prophecy, let's get this right quick. Okay, according to the law, okay, the Lord's not going to at all acquit the wicked. Okay, Numbers 14 and 18. It says, the Lord is long suffering and great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty. Okay, so the Lord is not going to clear the guilty. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation, and that's what we're coming up to. Okay, that third and fourth generation is pretty much here. All right. Let me see. I got a few more scripts. Let me see. Some coming to my mind. Okay, this is kind of going to the same thing. Boom. This is it. Okay, Nahum 1 and 2. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth and is furious. Okay, and the Lord Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries and reserveth wrath for his enemies. See, Nahum 1 and 2. Okay, verse 3. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. He will not at all acquit the wicked. Okay, Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and the clouds of the dust of his feet. So there's no acquittal in this. Okay, there's no escaping. All right, the end result is still going to be the same regardless. Isaiah 47, and I'm gonna get verse 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and there is none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, that shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So, from a carnal perspective, he has a very strong cabin, okay? From a carnal perspective, this is a smart move on Donald Trump's part, with Tim Waltz. But, okay, we're not going to give you the carnal side. We got to give you the spiritual side. And spiritually, okay, you've heard our report, and that's that Babylon the Great, okay, is going to receive the same portion as Sodom and Gomorrah. And the Lord is making that happen via World War III. Okay, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All right, let's skip down and read verse 14. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Okay, so that's it. All right, that's it. So, okay, there is no, regardless of what happens, the outcome is still the same. Okay, you hope for the elects out there. You just got to keep staying prayed up. Okay, keep watching, prophesying, see what's going on, line it up with biblical prophecy, and stay on your toes, man, because this is the time we're coming into. Okay, and if you're not good with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, then you're gonna have your part in the lake of fire. Okay, that burneth with fire and brimstone. But the beast and the false prophet are gonna be thrown into head first. All right, so that being said, we'll close out. Okay, Yahweh righteous, I was edifying as always. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and until next time, Shalom.